All right, number 3, it says dinners frequently add a 15% tip when charging a meal to a credit card. We want to know what is the total amount charged if the cost of the meal without tip is $37. Okay, so this one is slightly different in the fact that we are adding 15% to a number instead of just finding 15% of. So in this case, whenever you're doing money at a restaurant or you're doing the tip, you have your cost. I'm going to say C, the cost of the meal, and then you're going to add the cost of the meal times whatever percentage of the tip. So you need to find that percentage first, and then that's going to give you your total. So it's going to be slightly different. So in this case, the meal costs $37. And then we want to add a 15% tip. So we need to do 15% of this 37. So we have to figure out this tip amount. So that's the percent of part. So we're going to do 37, 15% as a decimal is 0.15. So this is what we have to do, and that's going to give us the total cost of the meal. So we're still multiplying something times that percentage, but it's a little bit different in the fact that you have to add it to that total cost here. So let's find out what that tip would be. So I'm going to do this 37 times 0.15 first. Use my keypad. So that gives us that we're going to leave a $5.15 tip, or that's what's going to be charged to the credit card. So 37 plus 5.55. It's going to give us our total, and that gives us 42.55. So the total that you would pay would be $42.55. Type a whole number or a decimal. It doesn't say to round, so that should be fine. All right, number 4. A lab technician mixes 580 milliliters of a solution. Mix a 580 milliliter solution of water and alcohol. 3% of the solution is alcohol. How many milliliters of alcohol were used, and how many milliliters of water were used? Okay, so this one we can just do 2%, or we can subtract. There's multiple ways we can do this. So you need to be familiar, or should understand that the total is 100%. That's always the case. We can't really do anything more than 100% in actuality. All right, so they're telling us that 3% of the solution is alcohol. All right, so that means if I take away 3% being alcohol, so I'm going to put an A by this, this leaves me with 97%, which would be water. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this amount of solution that we have, which is 580, and we can multiply it by 3%, or as a decimal, that's going to be 0.03. That's going to tell me how much alcohol. And I can do the same thing, 580 times 0.97, and that will tell me how much water. You could also just get the amount of alcohol and then subtract from 580, and that will tell you water. So a couple ways you can think about doing it, but just since we're doing this percent of, it's going to be the same just to follow that. So we want to know the amount of alcohol. So we're going to do 580 times 0.03, and that gives us 17.4. And then the amount of water used. So I'm going to show you 2 ways. You can just take 580 and take away 17.4. So take away the alcohol and you get this. So what we had 17.4 here, and I'm showing you can subtract and get 562. 0.6, and you will also get the same thing, okay, if you do 580 times 0.97, so that 97%, so you get 562.6. So a couple ways you can think about that, 562.6.